So dear friends, we are in business law and ethics subject of BBA. That is a fourth semester subject. So till now, we have completed certain topics in unit 3, that is Companies Act. See, in this unit, in Companies Act, we have learnt about the definition of company, the characteristic features of company, and the classification of companies. How many types of companies are there? We have seen private company, public company, statutory company. Likewise, several companies are there. Companies limited by guarantee. Likewise, okay. Then formation of company we have seen. In formation of companies, certain documents are necessary, like memorandum of association, articles of association that we have discussed, and we have discussed about prospectus also. And we are discussing about this. Before this, I explained you certain concepts regarding meetings. Is it clear? Are there any doubts? Is it over? Whatever I said, that is correct only, no? Please respond.
Yes, sir.
Now we will discuss about these meetings. Okay. Can you see this forum and everything? Is it visible to you?
Visible, sir.
Okay, right. So what is forum? In meetings in certain topics, I explained about forum. What is forum? Can anybody remember?
Minimum 5 members attending.
Huh? Yes, please.
Minimum 5 members attending meeting.
Very good. Minimum number of attendance required to conduct a meeting is known as forum. See, I mentioned in a public company, 5 I mentioned. In a private company, 2 is enough to conduct a meeting, I mentioned. But recently, I also mentioned another thing. In 2013, companies, there were major amendments in Companies Act. Amendments means changes. So according to that, in the case of public limited company, if members are less than 1,000, 5 members are enough to convene a meeting. If the number of members is between 1,000 and 5,000, 15 members are enough to conduct a meeting. If more, I already mentioned in public limited company, unlimited number of members may be there. Any number of members may be there. In that case, if number of members is more than 5,000, then at least 30 is the quorum. Minimum 30 members should be present. So that is about quorum. Okay. So in case of public limited company, if the number of members is less than 1,000, 5 is enough. If the strength is between 1,000 and 5,000, 15 is enough. If the strength is more than 5,000, 30 members should be there to conduct a meeting. As I mentioned earlier, in case of private company, only 2 members are enough to conduct a meeting. Okay, is it clear or is there any doubts?
Clear, sir.
Okay, now coming to meetings. See, in our, I again go to the syllabus once. You check, this is the syllabus. The shareholders meetings are there, board meetings are there, and the laws relating to meetings. This we have learned. What is a quorum? What is minutes? Everything I mentioned already in the previous classes. Go through them. We will discuss about various kinds of meetings. Okay. Now you can see. So what is a meeting actually? Yes. What is a meeting? If you say that friends meet is there, I have to meet my friend. If you say, what do you mean? What do you mean by it? What do you mean by meeting? Yes, if you have to meet anybody, what does it mean? What does it imply? The meeting in simple terms is coming together. Okay. In ordinary sense, meeting means coming together. Only one member cannot come together. At least 2 should be there. Okay. In case of company meeting, coming together of at least a quorum of members. This is important. So that is why I again tested the concept of quorum. In case of private limited company, 2 is quorum. In case of public limited company, I mentioned at least 5 if the strength is less than 1000. Likewise, I mentioned just now. I will go back to that one just once. You can see if 1000 members strength is there in a public limited company, at least 5 members should be there. If the strength is between 1000 to 5000, 15 should be there. If the strength is more than 5000, at least 30 members should be there to conduct a meeting. That is what you mean by saying company meeting. Company meeting implies coming together of at least a quorum of members. If there is no quorum, you cannot say that there is a meeting. Okay, that is what you mean by, that is the importance of quorum. Now, coming to characteristics of a company meeting. See, as I mentioned, at least quorum should be there. That is, 2 or more persons must be present in the meeting. That is in case of private limited company. In case of public limited company, 5 or more members, or the remaining sequence, 15 or more members, 30 or more members, like that, depending upon the members. Okay, that is the first characteristic feature of a company. 2 or more members should be present. So, not only that, only for simple chit chatting, if they meet, means that is not a company meeting. It must be, the meeting must be for discussion and transaction of some lawful business, some issues relating to business, some issues relating to company should be discussed, and a meaningful dialogue, meaningful output should be there in a meeting. Only then you can say that there is a meeting. Okay. Similarly, another important thing is notice should be given to the members. If that is a shareholders meeting, all shareholders should be given sufficient notice in prior to conduction of meeting. If it is a directors meeting, all the directors, all those board of director members, whoever has to attend the meeting, everybody should be given notice. So previous notice should be circulated about the meeting place, meeting time, what are the points to be discussed. There is a technical term in the points to be discussed regarding the points to be discussed. What is the technical term? I mentioned in the previous class. Whatever points that they discuss in a meeting, what is the term called as?
Agenda, sir.
Very good. Agenda. Agenda should be there. So all should be communicated with proper time. Okay. Similarly, there should be a meeting with a prior notice, and in that notice everything should be mentioned clearly. That is, everything means place, date, and time. Everything should be clearly specified in the meeting. Okay. Similarly, last but not the least, meeting must be held as per provisions and rules of companies. Provisions or rules of Companies Act. Means agenda should be there, resolutions should be there, and quorum should be there. So proper notice should be there. So meeting must be held, must and should be held as per provisions or rules of Companies Act. So these are the basic things, basic points regarding the meeting. And now coming to, can one man meeting take place? Yes, can one man, I mentioned it as one man meeting. Can one man meeting take place? Yes, please. Can one man meeting take place? Aditya mentioned no, sir. Very good. Till now, whatever I mentioned, based on that, your conclusion is correct. Your decision is correct. Your answer is correct. But now let us discuss. See, as you all know, in normal sense, in ordinary sense, to convene a meeting, at least 2 or more persons must be present. If there is only one person, meeting that cannot be said to be a meeting. But in case of a company, there are certain circumstances in which even if one person comes to a meeting hall and sits there, in certain extraordinary conditions, one man meeting can take place. Okay, so what are those conditions in which one man meeting can take place? We will see in certain cases central government under section 167 convenes a special meeting. In that meeting, even if one person is present, means that will be called as deemed as a meeting. Did you understand? This section you have to remember. In case of certain specific conditions, in emergency conditions, in extraordinary conditions, a meeting will be convened by central government. For that meeting, even if one member is present, you can call it as meeting. Please remember, that is as per section 167 of Companies Act. Okay, so similarly, in case of absence of quorum, the meeting will be adjourned. Means, let us take, for example, if it is a public company. So let us take, for example, date is given, date is mentioned in the notice. The meeting will be held on 5th August 2021. Let us take, for example. Notice is given. You all know minimum 5 members should be there in case of public limited company. On the 5th, time is given at 11 o'clock. Time is mentioned. If only 2 members came, can meeting take place? 5 members should be there in a meeting for a public limited company. Only 2 members attended. Can a meeting take place? Yes, please. Can a meeting take place? Yes, please respond. Can a meeting take place? I am repeating, on 5th August 2021, a notice was circulated priorly to the members. At 11 o'clock, meeting will take place. The notice included that sentence. At 11 o'clock on 5th August 2021, a meeting will be held. That is the main point in that circular. So as you all know, in a public limited company, at least 5 should be present, but only 2 came. Can the meeting take place?
No, sir.
No, very good.
No.
Meeting cannot take place because quorum is not there. So what will they do? They will give another date. Let us take, for example, another 5 days time they gave. They mentioned it as 10th, on 10th August, meeting will take place. They mentioned like that. See, on 10th August, only 3 members came. Can the meeting take place? 5 should be present. Again, only 3
No,
came.
sir.
But please remember, this is known as adjourned meeting. Adjourned means the first time, first chance, in the first chance, given chance, quorum is not there. Meeting will be adjourned to another date. On that date, even if no quorum is there, meeting can take place. Did you understand? Even if no quorum is there in the adjourned meeting, meeting can be concluded, meeting can be convened. So, in the second time given, only one person is there. Even that one person can take any resolution or any decision can be taken by that person according to Companies Act. So, in case of absence of quorum in an adjourned meeting, even if one person is there, that constitutes a valid meeting. Okay. Then, in the third instance, meeting convened by company law board. See, in order to take the various decisions regarding companies, company law board will be constituted by the central government. So they have a power to convene meeting, just like central government has a power to convene any company's meeting. Company law board has also got power to convene any meeting under section 186. On that date, even if one member is there, that constitutes a valid meeting. Okay, so in case of meetings convened by central government as well as company law board, even if one member is there, it will be treated as a valid meeting. Even if quorum is not there, they will not care. So class meetings of fourth instance is class meeting of shareholders. See, in shares, different shares are there. equity shares are there, preference shares are there. Do you know what equity shares means and what preference shares means? Do you know them?
Don't know, sir.
Don't know. Okay, I will explain. I will explain. Just a minute. In class meetings of shareholders, we have to learn first of all different classes in shares. First of all, let me inform you. Do you know what share means? What is a share? Do you know?
Sharing, sir. Panchadam.
Share means, see, let us take for example, in our class totally 20 students are there. Each one of you give me 100 rupees. What is the total amount? It will be 2000. 2000 rupees I will collect. Let us take for example. So I have started a company. Let us take for example with this 2000 rupees. See, you are all investors in the company. You are all known as shareholders. You have invested money in this company. So your share means you have certain amount in the company. You have deposited certain amount in the company. Your share is, everybody has a share of 100 rupees. This is what you mean by saying share. Did you understand? Each one has contributed 100 rupees. So each one's share in capital is 100. That is what you mean by saying share. Did you understand? Shall I explain
sir.
again?
Yes, sir. Understand.
Understood? Okay, very good. So total how many shareholders are there? 20 shareholders are there in the company, in our company. Each has invested 100 rupees. Total investment is 2000 rupees. Total capital we collected is 2000 rupees. So these are shareholders. This is share. This is capital. Okay. So now let us discuss about, so you came to know about share. And again, shareholders also you understood. See, what is the benefit? Why you have given me 100 rupees? Why means with this 2000 I will do business. It may be purchasing and selling. It may be production and distribution, or it may be a service. It may be anything. So suppose, let us take for example, at the end of a particular year, our company earned 1000 rupees as profit. Our company earned 1000 rupees as profit. So what I will do? I will distribute this 1000 rupees among all of you. 1000 divided by 20 means each one will get how many rupees? Each one will get 50 rupees you will get. Each of you will get 50 rupees. Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This 50 rupees is known as dividend. So shareholders return is known as the dividend. See, if you invest this amount in a bank, what they will pay? They will pay interest. Please remember the difference between interest and dividend. You try to understand. If you invest the same amount in a bank, they will give interest to you. It will be fixed. It does not depend on bank's profit or loss. Please remember. Even if bank incurs loss, they will give you a fixed interest. But in case of our company, only if profits are there, you will receive dividend. If there is no profit, there will not be any dividend to you. Did you understand? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
In case of bank, fixed amount will be given as interest. Even though the bank does not enjoy profits in a particular year, they have to pay interest because it is promised by the bank. But in case of company shareholders, if only profit is there, shareholders will get a dividend. That also, please remember, it is not fixed. If there are more profits, more dividend will be paid. If there are less profits, less amount will be paid as a dividend. So that is why always investing in companies as shareholder is risky. It is risky. There is always a risk involved in it. We do not know. Business itself implies 1 year we may earn a profit. Another year there is no guarantee that again profit will come. profit will be enjoyed. So, but if you have courage, if you have dare, if you invest in a good company, if in a particular year, in a particular financial year, if bumper profits are there, means you will enjoy bumper dividend. Okay. So did you understand the concept of share? Did you understand? All of you, please respond. Did you understand what
Yeah,
share
understood,
means?
sir.
Okay. Now coming to different classes of share, we will discuss about these two: equity share and preference share. These two are main types of shares, preference share. Now you see the main difference. See why we are discussing this means we have to get a clarity regarding this class meetings of shareholders. In class meetings of shareholders, only one shareholder, even if he attends the meeting or even if he or she attends the meeting, that is sufficient to conduct a meeting. Okay. So what is class? We are discussing it. So in order to understand what is class, we have to know the different class means type of shares. See, mainly shares are divided as equity shares and preference shares. See, equity share means, see here, in our example, I mentioned each of you have given 100 rupees. 20 members have given 100 rupees. Total investment is 2000 rupees. See here, when you give me 100 rupees, what I will do is I will prepare a certificate. Means just like receipts. When you pay examination fees, you are going to receive receipts. How much is paid by you, what is your name, what is your section, on which date you paid, how much you paid, everything will be mentioned in that. So similarly, in case of share also, share certificate will be issued by the company. In that certificate, details will be there. What is the name of the shareholder, on which date amount is given, how much is given, everything will be given. So in case of equity shares, nothing will be mentioned, means percentage will not be mentioned on the certificate. In case of preference shares, percentage will be mentioned. Means let us take for example 5%, 100 rupees preference shares will be mentioned. Means every year out of profits, 5% on 100 rupees will be paid to preference shareholders. Means just like bank interest. See, in case of bank interest, they will mention 100 rupees, 5% interest they will mention. This is fixed. Every year bank will compulsorily pay you. Even if loss is there, bank will not stop you from receiving interest. Banker will pay you compulsorily. But in case of preference shares, if profit is there, first preference shareholders, as the name itself implies, they have a preference over equity shareholders. First of all, their dividend will be paid, and then if at all any profit remains, entire profit will be taken by the equity shareholders. Did you understand this concept? First of all, preference shareholders will be paid 5% on their 100 rupees. If profit is there, please remember, on 100 rupees, 5% means 5 rupees will be paid to preference shareholders. Remaining total amount will be paid to equity shareholders. There is no limit. Because here nothing is mentioned. Percentage is not mentioned to equity shareholders. Percentage is mentioned only to preference shareholders. Did you understand? Yes, please. Did you understand? Or shall I
Yes, sir.
repeat? Okay. Okay. Only.
Sir, once again you.
Okay. Right. Once again, I will mention. I will explain. Don't worry. See, I have received 100 rupees from Aditya and 100 rupees from Karthik. From Karthik also 100 rupees I received. But in Karthik's certificate, I will mention 10%. 100 rupees, 10% preference shares I mentioned. In Aditya's certificate, I mentioned only equity shares I mentioned. See, what it implies is, suppose our company has earned 100 rupees as profit. Only 2 shareholders are there. For example, I am mentioning for your easy understanding. Only 2 shareholders are there. One shareholder name is Aditya. Another shareholder name is Karthik. In 1 year, company has earned 100 rupees as profit. So what the company has to do? First of all, see here I mentioned it is preference share, means in payment preference should be given to Aditya, Karthik. How much preference should be given on his 100 rupees? 10% I have to pay immediately, because the company is enjoying the profits. In a particular year, 100 rupees is earned as profit, and is in this 100 rupees, these two have to be paid. But first preference will be given to Karthik, because his share is preference share, and on this 100 rupees he has to be paid 10%. Means how many rupees will be taken by Karthik? 10 rupees will be taken by Karthik. Remaining 90 rupees will be enjoyed by Aditya. Did you understand? There is no limit on the return to equity shares. Did you understand? Is it clear?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Now, so this is the difference between equity share and preference share. Means preference will be given to preference shareholders first in payment of dividend. Dividend means I mentioned it is part of profit. Dividend means. Okay. So Karthik, did you understand? Nagendra Prasad, did you understand? Nagendra Prasad is there. Karthik is not there. Karthik is not
Yes, sir.
present. Oh, Karthik is present. So did you understand Karthik, Nagendra Prasad? Okay, right, fine. So now coming to this second, in 2 cases, preference shareholders enjoy preference. Now another case is company is getting closed. Company is going to be closed. Let us take for example. Aditya gave 100 rupees and Karthik also gave 100 rupees. See, when company is closed, totally 150 rupees balance is there in the company. Who has to be paid first? This is Aditya. This is Karthik.
Sir,
Who has
company
to...
has deci-
Yes, please.
company has decided share value, no sir.
Yes, company is closed now. Company is no longer in existence. Let us take for example, company's business is over. Every year company is incurring losses. They have sold all the assets. They have distributed liabilities. So now available balance in the company is 150 rupees. So Aditya has equity share, Karthik has preference share. This 150, how the company will distribute? 75 or how? What is your guess?
Preference will be given, sir.
Very good. Preference will be given to preference shareholders. So first means out of 150 rupees, first 100 rupees will be paid to Karthik. Remaining 50 rupees, Aditya will take. That's all. Did you understand? So in
Yes, sir.
case of dividend, preference shareholders will be given preference first. Secondly, when company is closed, first of all, capital will be returned to preference shareholders. In these 2 cases, preference shareholders enjoy preference over equity shares or equity shareholders. Okay. So now, so why I have mentioned this means class meetings of shareholders. So equity shareholders will have separate meetings sometimes. Preference shareholders will have separate meetings sometimes. Okay. In those class meetings, even if one member is present in equity shareholders meeting, that will constitute a meeting. That's all. Okay. So lastly, meeting of one-man committee of board of directors. So suppose board of directors will appoint only a single person as a committee in case of directors meeting. So in that case, even only one man is enough to constitute a meeting. So in these 5 cases, we have to remember, in these 5 cases, even if one member is present, that constitutes a valid meeting. So what are the 5 conditions I am mentioning again? One is meeting convened by central government under section 167, absence of quorum in an adjourned meeting, meeting convened by company law board as per section 186, class meetings of shareholders, and meeting of one-man committee of board of directors. In all these 5 cases, even if one member is present, that is enough to constitute a meeting. So dear students, whatever I have explained till now in English, once I will explain in Telugu also. మనం ఇప్పటివరకు గత క్లాస్లో కోరం అంటే ఏంటో నేర్చుకున్నాం, మీటింగ్ అంటే ఏంటో నేర్చుకున్నాం. కోరము అంటే తెలుగులో చెప్పాలంటే కనీస సభ్యుల సంఖ్య. ఒక సమావేశం జరిగింది, ఒక మీటింగ్ జరిగింది అని తెలవడం కోసం కనీస సభ్యుల సంఖ్యను కోరం అని అంటాం. అది పబ్లిక్ లిమిటెడ్ కంపెనీకి అయితే, పబ్లిక్ లిమిటెడ్ కంపెనీలో 1000 మంది కంటే తక్కువ ఉంటే 5 సభ్యులే కోరంగా భావించడం జరుగుతుంది. 5 వస్తే మీటింగ్ కండక్ట్ చేయొచ్చు. ఒకవేళ మెంబర్స్ 1000 నుంచి 5000 మధ్యలో ఉంటే 15 మంది ఉండాలి మీటింగ్ కన్వీన్ చేయడానికి. మీకు తెలుసు పబ్లిక్ లిమిటెడ్ కంపెనీలో అన్లిమిటెడ్ మెంబర్స్ ఉండొచ్చు, కోట్ల మంది ఉండొచ్చు. 5000 కంటే ఎక్కువ మంది సభ్యులు ఉన్న పక్షంలో 30 మంది ఉన్నట్లయితే కోరంగా పరిగణించడం జరుగుతుంది, మీటింగ్ గా భావించడం జరుగుతుంది. ఇక ప్రైవేట్ లిమిటెడ్ కంపెనీ అయిన పక్షంలో కేవలం 2 సరిపోతారు మీటింగ్ కన్వీన్ చేయడానికి, మీటింగ్ అంటే సమావేశం నిర్వహించుకోవడానికి. ఇక మీటింగ్ అంటే ఏమిటి అంటే, సమావేశము అంటే కంపెనీ దృష్టిలో సమావేశం అంటే 2 లేదా అంతకంటే ఎక్కువ మంది సభ్యులు ఉండి, అంటే కనీసం కోరం సభ్యులు కూర్చొని కంపెనీకి సంబంధించిన ఒక విషయానికి సంబంధించి చర్చించుకోవటం, ఒక నిర్ణయం తీసుకోవటాన్ని మీటింగ్ అని అంటాం. ఈ లక్షణాలు, కంపెనీ మీటింగ్ యొక్క లక్షణాలు చూసినట్లయితే కనీసం 2 సభ్యులు ఉండాలి. ఇది ప్రైవేట్ లిమిటెడ్ కంపెనీకి. పబ్లిక్ లిమిటెడ్ కంపెనీ చెప్పినట్టుగా కనీసం 5, 15 మంది, 30 మంది అట్లా. ఇక ఈ కలుసుకోవటం అనేది ఉత్తగా పిచ్చి ముచ్చట్లు పెట్టుకోవడం కోసం కాదు, కంపెనీకి సంబంధించిన ముఖ్యమైన వ్యాపార సంబంధిత విషయం గురించి మాట్లాడుకోవటం జరగాలి. సమావేశానికి సంబంధించిన నోటీసు ముందే సభ్యులకు పోవాలి. ఆ నోటీసులో స్పష్టంగా స్థలం, ఎక్కడ మీటింగ్ జరుగుతుంది, తేదీ, టైం, ఏ టైంకు మీటింగ్ జరుగుతుంది, ఈ విషయాలు అన్నీ తెలియపరచబడి ఉండాలి. చివరిగా కంపెనీ చట్టం ప్రకారమే మీటింగ్ జరగాలి అంటే కోరం సభ్యుల సంఖ్య, కనీస సభ్యుల సంఖ్య ఉండాలి, నోటీస్ ఇవ్వాలి, మినిట్స్ రికార్డు చేయాలి, ఇలాంటివన్నీ కూడా తీర్మానం చేసుకోవాలి, అవన్నీ ఉంటాయి. మనం ఇప్పటిదాకా కనీస సభ్యుల సంఖ్య 2, 5, 15, 35, 30 అని అనుకున్నాము. కానీ కొన్ని ప్రత్యేకమైన సందర్భాలలో ఒకే ఒక మనిషితోటి కూడా మీటింగ్ నిర్వహించవచ్చు. అది ఎందుకు అంటే కొన్ని ప్రత్యేకమైన సందర్భాలు ఉన్నాయి. కేంద్ర ప్రభుత్వము మీటింగ్ సమావేశం నిర్వహించేటప్పుడు సెక్షన్ 167 ప్రకారం ఒక్క వ్యక్తి వచ్చినా సరిపోతుంది. కోరం లేక సభ వాయిదా పడ్డప్పుడు వాయిదా పడిన సభలో కోరం లేకపోయినా సమావేశం కొనసాగుతుంది. కంపెనీ లా బోర్డు కేంద్ర ప్రభుత్వం నిర్ణయిస్తుంది. ఆ కంపెనీ లా బోర్డు సమావేశం నిర్వహించేటప్పుడు సెక్షన్ 186 ప్రకారం సమావేశం నిర్వహించడం జరుగుతుంది. అందులో ఒక్క సభ్యుడున్న మీటింగ్ అయినట్టే. అలానే మీకు ఉదాహరణ చెప్పాను, ఈక్విటీ వాటాదారులు, ఆధిక్యపు వాటాదారులు, 2 రకాలుగా ప్రధానమైన వాటాదారులు ఉండటం జరుగుతుంది. ఆ ప్రత్యేకమైన వాటాదారుల సమావేశంలో ఒక్క సభ్యుడున్న మీటింగ్ అయినట్టే. అలానే బోర్డ్ ఆఫ్ డైరెక్టర్స్ కొన్ని సందర్భాలలో 1 మ్యాన్ కమిటీ, ఏకసభ్య కమిటీని ఏర్పాటు చేస్తుంది. అటువంటి సందర్భంలో ఒకే ఒక సభ్యుడున్న మీటింగ్ జరిగినట్టుగానే భావించడం జరుగుతుంది. సో దీస్ ఆర్ ది ఇష్యూస్ దట్ వి డిస్కస్డ్ టుడే. ఓకే, ఫ్రమ్ టుమారో we will discuss various kinds of company meetings. Okay, so similarly as per rule 77 of table A, okay, so I mentioned 1 man committee from board of directors. They may delegate power to only 1 member. There may be several members in a company's directors board. All together may delegate their power to only 1 member to convene a meeting, to take a decision, to write resolution, to ratify anything. So that is as per rule 77 table A. బోర్డ్ ఆఫ్ డైరెక్టర్స్ లో రూల్ 77 ప్రకారం అందరూ డైరెక్టర్స్ కలిపి ఏ ఒక్కరికైనా పవర్ ఇవ్వచ్చు. డైరెక్టర్ కు నువ్వే మీటింగ్ కండక్ట్ చేసుకో, నువ్వే సంతకాలు పెట్టేసి అని చెప్పేసి పవర్ ఇవ్వచ్చు. అటువంటి సందర్భంలో కూడా ఒకే ఒక వ్యక్తి మీటింగ్ అనేది చెల్లుతుంది. సో థ్యాంక్ యూ వెరీ మచ్ డియర్ స్టూడెంట్. టుమారో we will learn about different kinds of meetings. Thank you very much.